My name is Cynthia Wakio. Today we're discussing why you should empower your staff with a sales training. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Cynthia.
What happens when you don't empower your sales team with a sales training?
If you talk to any organization, whether it's an SME, medium size, multinational, the key goal, they're working towards is getting results. And one of the key results here we are talking about is revenue. How do we hit the revenue? How do we achieve our revenue target? And the people responsible for hitting the revenue target, it's the sales department. It's the sales marketing department. So, and I know most of the conversations we have with our sales employees, it's about performance. But have you ever asked yourself as a manager, what have I done or what can I do to empower them to get results? So that's where we come in when we talk about empowering the sales team, because ultimately it's one thing to demand results in there from them, and it's another thing to ask yourself, how are you facilitating that? And so if you don't empower your sales team, two things are likely to happen. Number one, they're not going to achieve the targets that you've set for them. And number two, and this does happen, is that if they find someone who they feel is appreciating them, is also walking the journey with them, then don't be shocked if you lose the best sales team, because they'll over and above the salary that you are paying them, they'll also be asking themselves, what else are you doing to be able to facilitate my work, to make my work much easier, and even to be able to empower me? So to be brief and to the point, number one is you not be able to achieve the targets, and number two, there's a high possibility you might also experience high turnover. Yeah.
And how does a sales training come into now be advantageous to the employee and the organization?
Yeah, before I answer that, I would say there are two trainings that you should consider sales training. Number one is what we call the product training. So here, this is best done by the leadership team, the sales leadership team. So if you have the sales manager, now and then he should be training the staff on the product or the services that you offer. So that way, they get to understand who are we, what are we offering, who is my target client, and what should I expect when I meet this client. Then the other form of training is on the sales techniques, the sales skills themselves. So here we could be talking about negotiation, we could be talking about presentation, we could be talking about prospecting. So here we're talking about the skills you need to excel as a salesperson. Yeah. So in a nutshell, that's what I would say. That's the approach the firm should take. And for product, the more the more trainings you have, the better. In terms of the sales skills, you can do them twice a year as a refresher. Uh, and that way you'll be able to achieve two results. Number one, the team will feel that you are indeed with them, you're walking through the journey with them, so it's not just about them. And a lot of when I interact with a lot of sales profession, they feel like the company is doing their own thing, and then them they expected to do something different. In fact, if it's one department where people feel neglected, it's the sales department, because they feel that the company doesn't understand me, they haven't empowered me, they are not in my shoes. So by you training them, then the message you are sending to them clearly is, I understand you, I understand what you go through, and I understand you need to understand the product, and also you need to understand, you need to have this specific skills so that you can be able to excel. I don't know whether I've answered your question.
The organization, the benefits to the organization.
Oh, yes. So when it comes to the organization, it goes without saying, you'll see better performance in terms of the revenue, in terms of the targets that you have, for sure. Your clients will also be, they'll be served well. And remember, there's this training we did some 3 weeks back. And so it's an agricultural company. They sell seeds, fertilizers, and one of the key things that came out was the sales team. They needed to improve on their relationship skills. So because the approach they had was more transactional. Oh, how many bags of fertilizers do you need? And we supply to you. But now we emphasized on how can they develop a relationship such that even before they know the needs of the customer, even before the customer calls them, such that if you have a farm and I've developed a relationship with you, I can be able to know the next harvest, Cynthia, you normally take like 60 bags, you know? And this is also how these are the challenges you're going through in your business. And even now, I can be able to tap into opportunities because you'll find like now you're a farmer. Indeed, you might have invested in another property and now you need 90 bags as opposed to 60. So if I don't have a relationship with you and I only contact you when I want you to make an order, then you can see I may not be able to maximize on my potential. So I would say in terms of the organization, expect good performance in revenue. The team will also be motivated and overall best results. Yeah, yeah.
So corporate staffing offers this sales training. Why choose us as the trainer?
I think for us, what stands out is the practical aspect. So, for any employer who makes an inquiry or any business, our first point is not to say, oh, we offer sales training. No, that's very generic. So, the first thing we do is have a sitting with you, get to understand where are your numbers. What are you doing well? Where do you feel are the gaps? And then we do have the meeting with the management to get to understand the needs, they've identified. And then sometimes you go all the way down to the employees and we do a survey. We ask them, yes, you are a staff member. You're supposed to be bringing in these kind of numbers. Where are you struggling? You know, where do you feel you need help? And so based on the information you get from the management and the information you get from the staff, from there we can be able to say, wow, we feel that these are the actual needs. And then from there we'll be able to come up with a customized training that will be able to address those needs. And then for the training itself, it's not just a PowerPoint presentation. So we do a lot of practicals, we do a lot of simulations, we do a lot of role play, we do case studies. And that way now, these individuals, they immerse themselves, they learn by doing. Yeah. And beyond the training, because 1 or 2, 3 day training is not enough. So we do monthly checkups for 3 months just to make sure indeed we trained Cynthia on this. We agreed that she's going to change in 1 or 2, 3 ways. And so we track your performance in the next 3 months to see, are you doing what we agreed upon? And if you're doing, what are the challenges that you're encountering? So for us, it's just not just a one-off training, but we really work with you through the journey and support you to make sure that the training is effective. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you too.
Thank you so much for watching. And for more information on how you can empower your staff with this sales training, please click on the link below. Bye and see you next time.